It's been a long time. We shouldn't have left you without some teen dog shades to step two, to step two, step two, to step two, to step two, step two. Oh, wicka, what's up, everybody? Welcome to Pop Culture Philosophers. Welcome, in fact, to a special presentation, a special teen dog shades night here on a Wednesday night with your boy, Rockin Robbie Billups. And I am joined tonight by two of my closest paranormal homies. That's right. If you've been keeping up with the channel, if you've been watching along on Rockin Robbie Live, you know for a fact, if not beyond a certainty, that I've been working along with some friends, along with some compatriots on a paranormal show that is going to be debuting pretty freaking soon. In fact, I think it's going to be next week. So I had to bring two of the guys in to talk tonight, including the founder of the GHPR. It's Scott. What's up, Scott? How you doing?
Yo, not too bad. How about you? I heard you almost stumbled on that GHPR, but you got it out. You got it out.
That's the first time I've ever said it right the first time.
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So we got Scott. Scott, of course, is the founder of this paranormal research investigative society, whatever. He's the dude who's putting the show together. And we've been having some fun. We've been doing a lot of these things, and there've been some others that have been involved, but the core three, right? You know, Scream's got their core four. We got the mean three. Man, I should have thought of a better rhyme for that. However, let's bring the coolest cat of the trio here. It's Trevi. Trevor, what is
y'all? Up? How you guys doing?
Doing well, man. Welcome to the show, both of y'all, man. First time live with me.
Here.
Yeah.
First time Scott's ever been on YouTube live without Professor Wham.
I think so. Yeah. I don't know. I think we need her on.
All right. So if you join in on the chat, feel free to join in the conversation. But Scott, this show that you have conceived, that we've all been working on for over a year now, Signal and Noise, it's finally debuting. What, next week?
Actually, this Sunday. So yeah,
this Sunday.
Yep.
Holy cow, dude. Tell us about it. What is Signal and Noise? Why should they care other than the fact that Rockin Robbie's there?
That's the big draw, right? No, so Signal and Noise is kind of like the culmination, I think, of my life in the paranormal up to this point. It's an exploration of who we are as people, what reality is, what it means to believe in something, and so much more. It's not a paranormal show. Not really.
Okay, then what is it?
A show about us. A show about...
You're just going to give me the same spiel again, bro? Come on,
yeah.
Man. What is it?
It's a show about, I think, what lies or what may lie at the core of our reality.
But it's also about like ghosts and goblins and ghouls and aliens and shit like that, right?
Oh, 100%. Yeah, there's ghosts, all sorts of junk like that.
Okay. Well, for anybody who doesn't know, like, how many episodes? What's the subject matter? What are you say it's not a paranormal show, and I get that. I get what you're saying, right? We understand, but and I don't know if it's super clear. Like, what can we expect? Are we talking aliens? Are we talking ultraterrestrials? Are we talking magic? Are we talking ghosts? Are we talking angels and demons? Are we talking the Da Vinci Code? I don't know. What the hell, Scott? What's going on, man?
So it's looking like it's going to be like 8 episodes, probably going to be a little more because it's expanded beyond its original scope at this point. I say it's not a paranormal show. It's not a ghost show. Don't go into it expecting ghost hunters or ghost adventures. You know, you're not going to see dramatic musical scenes. It's not going to be weird, like leading the ghosts on and trying to egg them on, basically.
Even though Trevor definitely wanted to Zach Bacon's this shit. I remember he wants to come out there and be like, "What's up, demons? Come on!"
I don't think I said that, but yeah.
Yeah.
I definitely wanted to go into a weird approach with it.
Yeah. No. Yeah. So it's nothing like that. It's there's a little bit of everything in it. Like I said, it's the idea of what lies at the core of all this, right? Is there common ground between all these different aspects of the paranormal? So you're going to see UFO summoning experiments. You're going to see classic haunted houses. You're going to see weird melding between that, Bigfoot, all sorts of other things. It really goes above and beyond.
Okay. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Trevor, what about you, man? Well, why did you get involved in this? Scott asked me
First
to.
off,
Shit.
I've always been pretty what's the word I'm looking for? Interested in a lot of this stuff. Wanting to see what's actually out there. Wanting to be able to maybe not necessarily like explain a lot of stuff, but maybe give something a bit of more of a face, if that makes sense. Be able to like kind of experience it myself and really get to see uh, maybe what I'm supposed to be seeing all along. Like I'm a pretty big skeptic when it comes to a lot of this stuff. It doesn't mean I don't like think it exists, but there's definitely some that I think that we may be putting into our own heads or getting into our own heads a little bit too much about it. Uh, but I think that with some of the stuff that we've already seen, um, I think it's definitely changed my perspective a lot so far, and that's exactly what I wanted, was to be not necessarily like proven wrong, but given given the opportunity to come up with more of an idea of what a lot of the stuff might actually be, and to get to experience it firsthand myself. I think that's why I got involved.
Without giving too much away, have you had some significant experiences during the filming of this program?
Yeah, 100%. I can say the biggest one would be the without giving too much away, the UFO episode. Hopefully the first one. I don't know exactly how we're doing it, but
Yeah, it's the first one.
yeah, that definitely that one. I think it severely changed a lot, and I mean that was one of our first things entirely.
Well, and it's the
Yeah.
first one that we did knowing that we were doing a show about it, right?
Mhm.
Yeah.
It was.
Like we had actually done a ghost hunt, like we investigated a haunted house or whatever. Almost got arrested. Trevor, you weren't there for that, right?
No, I wasn't there for that one,
Yeah.
but yeah.
Yeah,
I've
we
heard the
almost got
stories.
arrested because of this jackass right here. Didn't even think that maybe he should tell the neighbors that this house that's been abandoned for
Hey.
months is all of a sudden going to have a bunch of like flashlights moving around in the window at night.
Yeah, you live and you learn,
Why don't you tell us about that experience, Scott, man, from your perspective, man? Tell us about the pre-signal and noise investigation that I was a part of that almost led to our arrest. What's up, Verno? How you doing? What's up, Ariaga? GT? How y'all doing, Station?
So it was like summer 2023, right? I got permission to check out this house that was in the middle of renovation. They were getting ready to go on the market. Family house, been in that family for generations. Everything's going great. It's like your perfect investigation. We have loads of encounter stories from people who are working on the house. We have great evidence that I think we captured in the process. And so it's like 9 p.m. I think we'd been there for 2 or 3 hours at this point. I'm up on the second floor of the building. Robbie and the rest, except for one other dude, Robbie and everybody else, they're downstairs out on the back porch, actually. And so it's me and a guy named Nick up in the top floor. And we're just kind of sitting there hanging out, enjoying the night, when this beam of light hits across the top of the doorway. And I was like, I jump up and I'm like, either that is something, we need to look at, or somebody is pointing a flashlight up in the window in the hallway. I run out there, look down, and that's when I see the officers walking down the alleyway into the backyard. Great moment. Hilarious.
Yeah, I remember being in the backyard, and we see the lights pull up too, and we see like some flashlights moving across some bushes or some shit. And Mike, everybody knows Mike here. Mike, the voice Matthews, he's part of the crew. Excitable we are. And he's just like, cops are here. And we're like, what? Cops show up. You and Nick come out. And I remember it was hilarious because Nick comes out, and the first thing he does is like, what does he say? Do you remember what he said?
Yeah. So we come down together. I'm like, well, I guess that's it. We ought to go downstairs and deal with this. So I'm packing my stuff up, and we're down in the kitchen now, which is like right up on the back porch where everyone else is. And he turns to look at me, and he's like, no, I say, should we put our hands up? Because we're about to just be walking out of this building into a mess of cops. And he's like, I don't know, but I'm doing it. And so he opens the door, throws his hands up, and turns around the corner. And it's like, I'm on the level, boys.
That's what he says. I'm on the level, boys. He comes out like this. And he was kind of like, being a smartass to the cops the entire time.
Oh yeah.
Mike has got
Of course,
Mike
he
has
is.
still got like the
He's in the ESTA
recorder.
session.
He's got the recorder and he's got the headphones on. He's still got that going. So there is footage, or not footage, but there's audio of some of the encounter, right?
I don't know what tape it's on, but it's out there. Yeah.
Yeah. So Mike is continuing the investigation while the cops are questioning us about what we're doing. That whole ordeal, once the cops showed up, I think lasted probably like an hour. The cops were very interested though when they found out that we were hunting ghosts. And Mike's like, yeah, I got the thing on right now. Do you want to wear it? Dude, they were so fucking nervous. These police, the people that are supposed to protect us. So they get called out because a group of dudes have just showed up to this house that's been empty. And the neighbors know it's empty because they know the family. They know what's going on. And all of a sudden people are in there with flashlights and at night, and so of course they call the cops, right?
Yeah.
Of course they do. The cops show up. They're there to protect and serve the neighborhood. But as soon as they find out that we think we heard or experienced something there, none of them wanted to touch the equipment. None of them wanted to go in the house, right? In fact, didn't they let you go back in the house unattended because they were too scared to go into the house? They did.
I walked out to the front door. I'm like, I'm going to go get my stuff. Do you need to come with me? And the guy's like, you said this house is haunted? And I said, yeah, supposedly. And he goes, I'm okay.
In their defense, they are cops, not Ghostbusters. So
true.
I think I'd be pretty freaked out.
Hey, I was with him. He wasn't going in alone.
Especially if there's like 5 dudes in this house being like, "No, we just heard something in there." Yeah. I'm done.
And then Trevor, you were involved in some of those pre-signal and noise investigations as well, and they all of these things leading up into what's going to be the first episode of Signal and Noise. They were like examples of calamity and what not to do. It's someone, right? So like, Trevor, do you get like any funny memories or funny things that happened during your pre-signal and noise investigations with Scott?
The biggest one I can recall really is we investigated one of an old friend of ours, like one of their older houses that they didn't live at anymore, but they still technically owned it. And it's this like big property out, I don't really know where, but a bit more secluded. But to get to it, there is a creek that runs through like in their driveway. Like their driveway dips down and there is a creek that runs through. And this isn't like a small creek. This is like, the width of like the vertical width of a car, I'd say. It's maybe a little bit longer, but I would say probably about like that. Actually, maybe about a car and a half.
You couldn't jump this for sure. It was like,
you can't jump this. Yeah. And it's not very deep, but it's at least like a quarter way up your shin, I would say. Your feet are submerged in it. And that's the biggest part. The other part about this creek is that it's very smooth and not rocky in the slightest. So when the water goes, it just builds up algae. And it is just straight algae and just like moss, I guess, all along the bed of these rocks. And you have to go across the creek to get to the house. There is no way around it. You just can't. You have to go through it. One day at work, I'm sitting there and I'm working, and I get a text from Scott saying he's going to go check it out and make sure that the creek is good enough. He's like, there's some water, but it's not too high.
Can I add something to that?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, so it was that morning. I was supposed to be met by another member, and I'd waited like 2 or 3 hours for this guy to show up, and just complete radio silence because I didn't want to go alone. I know something's going to happen if I'm out in the middle of nowhere on my own. And so finally I'm like, we got to do it. We're running out of time. At this point, it's been like 4 months. We're trying to ford this creek. A tree has fallen over and is blocking part of it too at this point. Trevor, take over from there. So
he's going in, and I get a text saying, "Hey, I'm about to go in. He never showed up. I'm going to go in." And I'm like, "Okay." And he's like, "I found the tree. Not going to happen. Like, not going to be able to cross this thing on the tree. The water isn't too high, so I'm going to try to cross it." I'm like, "Okay." Haven't heard anything for a minute, and then I get a series of frantic messages. Maybe 10 minutes later, fell in creek. What I can't remember exactly what it is, but it's just like message after message, like fell in. I fell in creek. I'm very cold. I fell. I didn't know if I was gonna be able to get out. And he's like freaking out. And he goes, I'm gonna go to my car and warm up. And so he goes to his car and he warms up. And he finally texts back. He's like, yeah, I'm fine, and blah blah blah. He comes in to talk to us about it, and he's talking about how he how when he fell. Remember, this is all slippery. Like, there is not a part of this creek that is not slippery. So he's going down the creek, and he keeps slipping as he's trying to get up, and he cannot get up. And he goes, and for a second, he said in his mind, "Well, this is it. This is how it goes.
I'm just gonna be here forever."
Yeah.
I wish I would have brought that bag of Cheetos.
Yeah, and that was definitely the funniest one. But and surprisingly, that's not the only person that has fallen into that creek while trying to get to the other
It was
side.
that night, wasn't it? We tried to go back, and Nick from the Hall House.
I know Nick fell in.
Falls in.
I want to say it was because I remember you changed clothes.
I did.
I think we came back because you couldn't wear your other shoes because they were already soaked. So
Mhm.
you had to wear your other ones. So I want to say yes, Nick was there. Or that was the time we went with Nick. And Nick, I just see Nick walk, because I didn't get out of my car, and I just see Nick walk up to
And
the
by the
car.
way, this dude always wears tight jeans and cowboy boots.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cowboy boots. If you know cowboy boots, they don't have holes in them. So technically, you should not, but theoretically, you should not be getting water in your cowboy boots if it only goes up to about your ankle. He found out that there was a hole in his because they were so cold, and it flooded his boots. I mean, flooded them. And then he fell into the river, or the creek. And we didn't know this because I was still in my car, and I just see him walk back up in the headlights because it's pitch black. And I see him walk back up in the headlights. And dude is just like, man, he looks miserable. You could tell. I'm like, he fell in. This guy fell in.
I'm very glad I wasn't there for that.
Yeah, I want to say that
Investigation.
was probably the funniest one of like the ones that did we record that? Any of that?
Not that night. I didn't actually start recording until the time we actually made it across.
Yeah, I would say the
creek.
time we actually went there. Yeah.
Yeah.
So y'all did make it. Y'all do have like filmed investigative. Did anything happen? Did you have any experiences there?
We had a really good ESTA session. We were really only there for like 30 or 40 minutes. It was not long at all. Because, like he said, this was a house where the person that we were with, or one of the people that we were with, they had lived at this house for a large part of their life. And through the ESTA session, we started hearing a voice that was being very aggressive and very disrespectful towards this person. It made them very uncomfortable. And we ended up leaving because of that.
So one thing in the way that you work and the way that a lot of other, I don't consider us investigators, right? We're not paranormal investigators. We are trying to bring about experience of the supernatural, if you want to call it that or something, right? We're trying to there's a thread in this. We'll get to that. But there are techniques that a lot of investigators and experiencers utilize. And to us, or at least from my perspective, it seems like outside of just my personal, like the way my mind interprets things and sees things and the feels I have and shit like that, because we've been in places where like this hallway feels crazy, and that trailer, like the cat trailer, right, which is next to the smelly house. Mm-hmm. I can't wait for people to see the smelly house episode. Because that house was rank as fuck, dude. I have never been. I felt like we were all being killed slowly while we were in that house, not by some kind of spirit or malevolent force or something, but by like mold and dust and dampness, and like it was the worst smelling fucking house I've ever been in, man.
That house reminded me, if any of you guys have seen or played The Last of Us, very spore heavy.
Oh yeah.
I breathed in too much, I'd become like a zombie.
Dude, I felt like I was breathing. The air felt heavy, right? But the house next to that, right, the trailer or whatever, there was like a hallway. Like, so aside from just my personal feeling, it seems like the most compelling I don't want to say evidence, because the point of the show is not to try to prove things or disprove them. The point of the show is trying to experience things and seeing if there's a connective tissue, right? But the ESTA session seems to be the thing that really not only blows my mind and our minds, but anybody who's involved. Because one time, and I wish we would have filmed this, but Scott did. First of all, we all work at the Deep, all right? Like, we all work at the comic shop that I run as a manager, right? So that's how we've all met, and this is how it we all got together, right? But the ESTA session, even like when you did a lecture there, right? Yeah. And it was awesome. That was a great night. We had a lot of people show up. A lot of people got to see like a 10-minute clip of the first episode with this really annoying caw crow every time I said fuck. And it was just like,
there were kids there.
But it was so loud in the mix, man. It was like,
yeah, I know. It was like a last second that night ad.
It really was so loud too, because like his voice would be normal, and then all of a sudden it would scream it at you.
And I'm watching it, right? I'm next to Lena, and I'm just like, I don't remember a crow being there. Like, but apparently it was right next to the camera. Like, I thought I didn't even realize what was going on at first that you were censoring it. But that being said, the ESTA session, every time we've done it, we have crazy experiences that are very difficult to explain, because we've all been within the ESTA session and we've all been without it, right? And whenever we show it to other people, it's very compelling. It's very compelling to people that haven't even been in it. I think it's more compelling when you're in it and I don't know, man. Tell us what this is, because I think it's the biggest tool that we use throughout this series.
Yeah, it's definitely the workhorse of signal and noise, and of GHPR as a whole. I do want to say what you were talking about like when other people experience it, it blows them away too. Like that day, we were in the office talking about the Sam and Greg one. Right when that happened, we were showing a clip of the ESTA session to Jesse. First time he'd ever seen it. He was blown away by it.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. I didn't even know that. That's super cool. Yeah. Jesse seems like he would be a skeptic to me for some reason.
He does.
Oh, he's a skeptic, 100%.
But so ESTA sessions, right? So if you've ever seen any paranormal show, you've seen a spirit box. The SB7 is the model that we use. It's like your main original type spirit box, right? So these were created in like 2002 by a dude named Frank Sumption, right? So investigators all over the place will tell you he was trying to capture EVPs as they happened live. Not true at all. He was trying to talk to aliens. He thought they would probably be using radio waves. What it does is it's a modified radio that automatically scans through all nearby stations at the rate and direction that you choose in the moment. So if you've seen on Ghost Adventures, they use them, they just ask questions, they let the bots talk, right? Well, the problem with that is if you're too excited or too hopeful, right, you can kind of convince yourself you're hearing something that matches the question that you've just asked. So Connor Randall, he was the in-house paranormal investigator at the Stanley Hotel. He created the double-blind method known as the ESTA session, named after Estes Park, Colorado. And so in that one person plugs a set of studio isolation headphones directly into the bots and wears a blindfold, so they can neither read the lips of or hear the questions that are being asked. So while you're in the session, everyone around you is asking questions, presumably of the spirits or whatever else may be in that area. And the one person is just constantly repeating what they hear through the headphones coming through the bots. So the idea, your answers line up with your questions, you've actually made contact.
Yeah, and so for those of you who have never had one of those spirit boxes being blared into your ears, it kind of sounds like, and that's pretty much it. And occasionally you'll hear like, and it's usually just garbled and all that shit. But after a while being in it, and it's kind of like a thing of sensory deprivation, which leads to a trance type situation, right? And Scott and I, we're able to go into that trance state when we need to, especially through that kind of a situation, right? It is sensory deprivation, and that is something that has been proven and utilized by cultures for millennia to induce visions or more of a sensitivity to the subtle nature of things beneath matter, if that makes sense to you, right? And when you get into it, all of a sudden, you just kind of like, you're zen and in it. Yeah. And then you start hearing things. And it's not just like hearing a clip of somebody on a radio program saying Jesus. It's hearing Jesus go, Jesus. It's like,
yeah,
it's weird how it skips across those frequencies. Yeah. That's when you know it's something, I think, rather significant, if not legitimate.
Yeah,
sound
absolutely.
like you wanted to, okay, go ahead, Scott. It sounded like you wanted to interject. Okay.
I was just going to say, yeah, it's across the bands. You know, that's a lot of people, when they do it for the first time, they find themselves listening for those clips, you know, like trying somehow to piece it together out of these little tidbits of radio stations that they're hearing. But that's not what you're listening for. You're looking for the signal in the noise, which is where the name of the show derives from.
So what's really crazy is first of all, when you're in there and you're just saying these things and you're saying words, you repeat what you hear across the bands, the signal within the noise, and you're repeating it. And to you, you're just like, none of this has got to make any sense. It's so random. But when you're on the outside of that and you're in the group of people asking questions, and then all of a sudden you have a direct conversation, not just a response to one question, a literal conversation that goes minutes. It boggles my fucking mind. It boggles my mind because I've been in it and I've seen the footage of the questions being asked of me and the responses that I'm giving. And you don't know you're giving responses. You can't hear or see. Trevor, you've been in and out, man, and you're a little bit of a skeptic. What are your experiences and thoughts on the ESTA session?
Being on the inside, I haven't really ever heard anything, but I don't really do it that often. And I guess I just can't let my, like, I don't know. It freaks me out being in that thing. I don't like not being able to like see or hear my surroundings. But I will say on the outside of it, whoa, that's crazy. Like again, with it all goes back to that first episode of that the alien one, man. That has some again, I try not to say too much just because I want everyone to be able to experience it on their own. But man, I mean, some of those conversations, I mean, legitimate conversations is pretty wild. I mean, you can see us freak out multiple times on across multiple different.
One of the biggest skeptics that's gone on a experimental investigation. What's the best way to say it? An investigative experience.
Yeah,
I don't know, right? But when Davey doesn't believe in any of this shit. Davey got so fucking freaked out in the smelly house, dude. like I felt like I had to comfort him that night.
I think he had a reason, though. I think he had a reason to be freaked out with some of the things that we're saying.
It seems like he's getting called out all the damn time, man.
Yeah,
Davey's got to come back on some stuff, man.
And I think one of the other bigger things to me is the fact that Scott can't hear or see what we're saying, and then bringing up our names sometimes, but not just in a way of like he'll just randomly say Robbie.
Yeah.
It's like we'll say something specifically about Robbie or something like that, and then his name would come up, or like we'll mention that person first or something about it, and then that name will be brought up in the conversation. And I think that's really interesting. It's not just Scott saying our names because he knows us, and it's like a subconscious thing, hearing it in the kind of like how you were talking about, like Zach Bagans doing it with the spirit box, having no headphones on. You kind of get yourself to hear an answer. Yeah. It feels different than that because we already I don't want to use the word provoked, but kind of led the conversation to say somebody's name, and it works. I guess is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, and so, like, Scott and I have discussed this, right? Where it's been like, are we just hearing the names because it's in our subconscious? Are we just pulling it? But I do think that our subconscious in that state, and I think Trevor, like, I get what you're saying, dude. It's not comfortable to be in there at first.
No.
Right. And sometimes whatever intelligence that may be communicating through it doesn't seem to be so cool. Y'all remember when I was just like, Robbie, stop. Robbie, stop. Stop, Robbie, stop. And I was like, all right, okay, I'm done. Let's go. It can freak you out being in there. And also just the idea, sensory deprivation. When I get in there, I think me and Scott, we've talked about this, right? Like, I kind of just have to, like, I just do what I do when I'm doing my practice, right? I just try to go into a point of one mind, ignore the noise, and just kind of feel it. So if it is my subconscious, I don't know. If it's a collective unconscious, if it's an actual intelligence communicating through this radio signal, I don't know. But when I say shit that has significant relevance in esoteric philosophy at the same time being direct responses to questions asked, like, I think one of the most compelling things we've done has been that Sam and Greg's. Sam and Greg's is a local pizzeria, and it's in a building in our downtown, which is one of the oldest buildings in our city. And it is allegedly haunted. And we went there and we had a very intense ESTA session that I think most of the people there didn't realize. And it didn't really get put together until kind of after the fact, and mostly just because of some of the knowledge about these things that you in particular have. Scott, you want to speak on that?
Yeah. So that night we had actually had, this was the second ESTA session. I had conducted one downstairs, which was very by the books. It was like, oh, is there anyone with us? Yes, I'm here. That kind of junk. And so Robbie decided, we decided in the moment, I should say, that Robbie's going to conduct the second one on the upper floor. And so, we get you plugged in.
After we have been directed through the last session to go upstairs.
I forgot about that part. Yeah, it was like, I forget the exact wording, but it was basically saying that there were too many walls between it and us, which is an incredibly interesting concept to me, right? Because if you're talking to something there in the room with you, why would that matter, right? But we move upstairs and we sit at this table with like the Egyptian motif all over it, and there's that little blue UFO lamp hanging over us.
And the alien putt chorus. By the way, that's Kevin Stokes, y'all. That's Kev. What's up, Kev?
Oh, what's up, Kevin?
We got to bring Kevin on one of these things with us, man.
We do, man.
I keep meaning to. But so we move upstairs, and we're there up at that table. And I asked a question or two, and I was pretty exhausted at this point because the ESTA session really drains you when you're in it. And so I initially kind of let Trevor take over, and he was just asking your basic, who am I speaking to? Is this the person from downstairs kind of questions? And it would get irritated with us. It didn't like it when we would speak. It was like, the feeling was, no, I have something to say. I'm going to say it. And so we really just kind of let it run for a moment and let it talk. And that's when it said what it said. Do you think should I go into it, or should I save that?
Maybe save it for right now.
Okay.
Because what's compelling to me really about that is that, first of all, Scott and I, we kind of have this idea that we may, if we are talking to an intelligence, right, or some kind of entity, whatever that may be, even if it's something within us, right, that we are kind of getting the same thing, the same entity kind of talking to us across different things. And we'll get, I got to remember to get back. I got to remember to circle back around to that. But what's compelling to me about that investigation in particular, or that experience, is that we had some of the staff of the restaurant present with us. And they, with their preconceived idea that this place is haunted and it's old Huntsville, started taking the responses from downstairs and upstairs this is a ghost talking about their life. And that fits the narrative. It fits the narrative. But when you look back and look at all of our experiences and see the connection to it, it's a whole different thing. Right? And that's what's compelling to me. Is I don't know, man. And so, Scott, what we've already talked about UFOs. Now we're talking about ghosts. Robbie from Earth 2. That's Robbie Bateman. Y'all know Robbie, right?
Yeah.
That's Earth 2 Robbie. That's Robbie 2. I love that you changed your name to actually say Earth 2 Robbie, by the way. That's great. That's what the PCP Army knows him as. But Bigfoot. He mentions Bigfoot. So Bigfoot was always planned, and it was always the episode that would never happen. It would never come to fruition. I think a part of that was because I just didn't want to do it.
I was gonna say, I wonder why it didn't come to fruition.
I had this thing where I here's the thing, y'all. I'm not discounting anybody's Bigfoot experience or anything like that. But if I'm going into the fucking woods looking for a giant furry beast, I'm not worried about Bigfoot actually showing up. What I am worried about is a fucking bear, a fucking mountain lion, a fucking deer, even. I don't fucking know. A boar. There's a crocodile, deer? Or not a crocodile. Where the fuck are we? We're in Alabama. This is an alligator. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm scared of that shit, man. And that's why the first time I was like, I'll do the Bigfoot thing if we have somebody there with a gun. Right? But y'all did do a Bigfoot thing, right? So Bigfoot's involved. Bigfoot's kind of involved with your origin story, Scott, about why you do this. Why don't you share that story, if you would?
Yeah. Bigfoot's very important to me. In the paranormal, I've wanted so bad to do this episode. It just never comes together. We've tried like 4 or 5 times. It just always falls apart. But I even really quick aside, I had a dream about it the day prior to one of those attempted things, and in it, you, Robbie, were actually killed by a mountain lion. But
yeah. Why do you think I won't fucking? And I'm always like, eventually. So at first it was like, no, man, I'm busy this day. Oh, I can't make it. This or that. And legitimately, things would happen.
Yeah. Oh,
right?
I got COVID that one time.
Yep. Yeah. Things, like, we were down to do it, but things happened. But then eventually, I just realized, man, Scott, I don't really want to do this. I think Scott may have realized it before I did. And I think Scott messaged me one day. He's like, you don't have to do the Bigfoot thing, man. It's fine.
Yeah. I was like, me and Trevor got it. We can figure it out, you know?
I don't need to go out there knocking on fucking trees and shit. I don't know. But then again, something was out there in the woods. We were planning on doing an episode. Mm-hmm. This will be the lost episode, but it actually became quite a very bonding experience for the three of us. The three of us went camping. We wound up sleeping in some of the last very cold night in Huntsville, or in North Alabama at the time. And what was it, like 38 degrees low?
I think it was worse than that, I thought.
It was so fucking cold. I've never been so uncomfortable, man. Scott has led me, this whole experience has led me to the worst sleep of my life and the fucking smelliest house I've ever been in, man. But also one of the some of the most profound experiences of my life too, man. So I don't know.
That camping one was brutal. I mean,
I really wish that was documented, to be honest with you.
I know. We need someone there who
like
just
a couple
films.
of clips. We're all like happy and like, look, we got the tent up, and like we're all like happy. We should have recorded it after the fact that we were done. But, like,
oh my god! Yeah.
We ate them hot dogs, and then we did what we did, and then.
I've never seen Scott so quiet. I don't think I've ever been in a car.
It was rough.
That quiet.
Yeah.
It was a crazy night. We'll get to it one day. You know, maybe not right now. When these two are more comfortable sharing some more personal details.
Oh man,
I don't give a fuck. I'll tell y'all, I was tripping like a motherfucker, bro. I was worshiping the fucking moon, and it turned into a goddamn cat with an Egyptian headdress. It was crazy, man. It was crazy. I loved it. These two guys though had to deal with me, but it was a crazy night. We wound up with some crazy ass 35 degree trying to sleep in this tent with these shitty ass little pillows.
Yeah.
And we were like, sweet dude, this sporting goods store's got a deal on sleeping bags. They're only $10.
Oh, they were less. They were like $6. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, we found out why.
Yeah.
Because they suck.
Were they?
And in our defense, it said that it was supposed to be like weather, like the weather was supposed to be good for that sleeping bag. Like that sleeping bag, the temperature was supposed to be what we needed.
This was an unseasonably cold moment in like March or April or something like that.
It was late April, yeah.
Jesus.
And I want to say, you said shitty pillows. Didn't you bring your own pillow?
I did bring my own pillow.
Yeah.
And y'all, and both of y'all were like,
had a
why didn't
shitty
I
pillow.
bring
Yeah.
my pillow?
I was sitting there snuggling up with a rock, dude.
Yeah.
Trevor puts a rock
Mm.
near the fire and like brings it
I
into
never
the
on
sleeping
fire,
bag.
pretty
It was
much.
so cold. I don't even know if any of us slept for more than like
2
20
hours
minutes in
Yeah.
like maybe 10 different sessions, right? Like I just kept waking up, and there was something out there moving around. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? So I don't know. I don't know. The Bigfoot thing, like, I don't want to go into the actual fucking wilderness hoping that some giant furry fucking mammal shows up. You know what I'm saying? It seems like a bad
Yeah.
idea. But then I started thinking about it. Has anybody ever seen the movie Strange Wilderness?
Mm-mm.
So it's a comedy that was done in like the 2000s. And it's about a group of friends, and it's done by Adam Sandler's crew, right? Like, so everybody that's in Adam Sandler's movies, like his homies, you know, like the dude from Grandma's Boy, who's all like, I'm not tan, I'm bronze, bruh. You know, like that guy, like all of these guys are in it. And anyway, the point of the movie, and I think Steve Zahn's in it, right? Yeah. Anyway, they're out to hunt Bigfoot. They find Bigfoot, and the first thing they do is just shoot the fuck out of it and kill it. And then they have to deal with the fact that they just killed Bigfoot. And like, it's pretty fucking funny. Strange Wilderness. Check it out. Anyway, Scott, you were talking about your origin story.
Yeah,
We got
yeah.
sidetracked.
Oh,
That
yeah.
happens here, especially on Teen Dog Shades.
So so I say all the time, I started in the paranormal in 2008. There was a rash of Bigfoot sightings going on here in Huntsville around that time period. Now, I had already been interested in the paranormal at that point. So it wasn't really like the moment, but I think it helped cement it. But when I was a kid, we lived right on the edge of Montesano in this little subdivision that was literally right on the edge of the forest. And really late at night in the summer of like 08 and 09, we would hear these just really strange vocalizations that sounded like stuff that like people, who've recorded throughout, the years have been like, oh yeah, that's Bigfoot, And so combine that with, sightings in the area at the time. And I'm like, well, it's real. He's out there, And so we listened to it for about a year. And then I decided, and this was in an era when I had just begun cataloging local sightings. I decided I was going to go and encounter it for myself. And so I got my little, basically toy camcorder and rode out into the woods and found this little game trail. And I'd walk it every single day. And one time I'd go out there and, like Oz effect kind of thing, the birds quiet down. There's no sound. There's no noticeable movement. And I start hearing this thing walk alongside me in the leaves. And it's a common thing you hear in Bigfoot stories, so I stop really hard all of a sudden, and I still hear it, like, as I stop, I hear something to my right come very quickly to a stop in the dead leaves. And so I'm like, okay, either somebody's beside me or this is a Bigfoot. So I keep doing it for a minute, keep hearing it, and finally I just stop and turn right with my camera to face where I think this thing is. And I just never see it. I could hear it walk off into the woods. And I think you can hear it on that video wherever it is. I mean, that was decades ago. I don't know if I still have that anymore. But I think that was the moment that really did it for me.
Yeah. All right. So what we're going to do right now is we're going to play what was the first trailer. First of all, you have a YouTube channel. This is where the show is going to be released, right?
Yep.
All right. I'm throwing a link in the chat right now to the YouTube channel, which already has a lot of footage and teasers and bits and segments put on it, right? There's already stuff there. And we're not showing anything new. And if you've been watching Rockin Robbie Live, you've seen these clips. But we're about to show the trailer, I guess, for season 1, which is kind of based mostly on our first investigation, which is a UFO thing. I got to go take a whiz, but I don't want to miss watching it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to step away, and I want you to set it up, Scott, and I want Trevor to add his preamble to what we're about to see. Make sense?
I guess. Yeah.
All right. Station.
Cool. So this was all filmed like last July. It was a very last second thrown together trailer. Some of the stuff you see in it was made only for this trailer. It covers a UFO summoning experiment that we did, first episode. You'll see that episode this Sunday. So, if you have anything,
know what I'm supposed to add on to it, man. I don't know.
I don't know.
This is which trailer is this one again?
This is the one that ends with us freaking out.
Okay, yeah. So the one that I've been talking about. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
A lot of freak out. We freaked out big in this one. I mean, I remember it being like, I remember the car ride, especially back to the city, just being like, what the fuck did we see? I mean, it was quiet.
Yeah.
It was we were all just deep in thought. I don't really know what to say without like saying what happens in it.
Well, we were so focused on.
I can't remember what's in the trailer too, so I don't want to like say something that's not.
Oh, you did. We were so incredibly focused on this experience. I remember that ride back, and you can hear just a snippet of our reaction to what happened that night. But on the ride back afterwards, Trevor was just looking out the window, and he's like, "They don't even know." Like as we drive past this,
driving past the suburbs, every house looks the same.
It's like some like Hunter Holmes shit.
But yeah,
I don't know what we saw, man. They still don't.
They
So where are y'all at?
They will.
Has Trevor done his preamble yet?
I
suppose.
Yeah.
Okay. Robbie from Earth 2, you're a wise man. You know what? I would go on a Bigfoot hunt with y'all if Bateman was there. 100%.
Yeah.
I know you wouldn't, but okay.
No, I would. I would go if Bateman's there because I feel like I wouldn't. Bateman always makes me feel secure when I go on trips with him.
Nice.
I always feel like no matter what the fuck happens,
Yeah.
Bateman's got me.
I don't mean this in any kind of bad way, but I would much rather have him with a gun than like Nate.
Yeah, I can feel you. Yeah, I get you. Bateman, yeah, I know. Bateman uses less substances than let's just say that.
Yeah.
But no, I would totally do that. And Bateman's always had my back, man. Like, I mean, no offense, but like if a bear shows up, Trevor, Scott, I don't feel like y'all are getting in the way. Bateman would throw himself in between us and that bear, is what I'm saying, man.
Yeah.
And bears,
I'd outrun you and the bear would get your ass, so I'd be fine. So
you don't try to run from a bear, apparently. I don't know. But then what do you do?
Yeah.
I don't fucking curl up in a ball and just be like, I guess it's the thing. There's something that happens in animals when another animal, a predator, attacks prey. There is some chemical that's released that just kind of lets them know, like, they just kind of give up. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's a real thing. This really fucking happens. It's a chemical gets released. They give up. They're probably experiencing some crazy shit. They're probably like on some like crazy ass trip or something, right? And accepting death or something, but they just kind of give up. They're like, and it's like, cause it's a natural thing. You know what I'm saying? There's this misconception, by the way, that nature is so violent. At any moment, somebody can come and kill you and eat you. It just seems so terrifying, right? But honestly, think about it, dude. Let's talk about a seal. Like I heard a video one time, they were talking about a seal was the example. So let's go with the seal. Fuck it. I'll do my own example. Let's talk about a deer. A deer lives its whole life, doesn't have to fucking go to work, doesn't have to fucking deal with all the bullshit or the government or anything like that, right? The deer, its whole existence is just wandering around with its homies, eating fucking grass, which is just freely available. Their food is all over the place. Their life is made. They sleep, they eat, they get to do whatever the fuck they want. And then one day, somebody comes to eat them and they die. They usually don't see it coming. They don't find out they got diagnosed with cancer and have to suffer through 4 years of chemo and shit like that, right? Like, they die and it's over, right? Or they get shot by a hunter. You know what I'm saying? And it's just over. But for the most of their existence, they're kind of chill, right? Don't right? You get what I'm saying?
I feel like deer are the most like skittish animal. Like
they are.
Maybe it's a bad pick for example, but yeah, I think we did it.
I'm gonna tell you how I am on camping.
A little too hard and they freak out. But
we were camping up on Monte Sano in a public camping site, right? You know where I'm talking about, where everybody's what, like 50 feet from each other, right? And
not even.
A fox came up on our campsite, and I jumped up on the fucking picnic table, bro, and wouldn't come down till that shit was gone. What's a fox? That fox ain't gonna come to me. You know what I'm saying? But I was just, I'm terrified of fucking animals in the wild, man. I really am, dude. That's why I don't get in the beach, because I can't see it. I don't get in any water I can't see underneath. Does that make sense? All right. So we've set up the clip enough and gone on too many tangents. So here it is. This is the clip from the first episode. This is going to be the first episode, right?
Yep.
Hell yeah. Debuting on Sunday. Here you go.
So just like tell the story of
right there. Just kind of basically like you were saying the other day.
Start?
More about having fun and about going out and doing this.
I like the show. Yeah. That's just me.
It's as much about us as it is the paranormal.
Here to find some shit.
The goal is that we're going to try and get abducted by aliens, or at least see if we could see the UFO encounter. What do you think's going to happen tonight?
Probably nothing.
Probably
but
nothing.
The best case scenario, man, we get sucked up there.
Yeah, if they'd arrested us, like what would have happened? Like we would have gone to jail and had to go to court, and they'd have showed up and looked stupid.
I'm just here to I'm super into the idea of aliens and ultra-terrestrials and shit like that. So I want to see what can we do?
And most people think of them as these nuts and bolts things, these creatures that are coming from another place, but it might not be that way. But we're also looking for this through line, this grand theory. You approach the high strangeness and all that kind of stuff, right? From a sense of play, a sense of having fun, that's when you see it.
Exactly. And it pops across the sky and it just goes forward steady. It disappears.
Ultimately, we're just going to have to wait and see what happens. You see that? Right there.
Oh, yeah. Oh, that moved. Oh!
Yeah, that's good. Yeah.
Walking through the woods looking for you.
Little dude.
Oh my god.
And it's like you point to some random little
That moment. That moment.
Oh,
we
dude.
saw the apparition in the sky.
Yeah.
Was such a powerful, impactful, and crazy ass moment. And the further removed we get from that moment, the further removed we get from that feeling, I believe. But man, oh man, that night really changed us. And that was episode 1. And then we tried to replicate it. And is that an episode, Scott? That's gonna
the direct UFO replication, or that'll be an episode. Yeah.
Cool. I'm excited for that too. Is there anything else to film?
We're gonna keep filming forever. I think. I don't know that it's ever really gonna end.
Fuck yeah, man. Because I'm about ready. Post Horror Fest, I'll be down to do whatever, man. Again, let's do it. Nice. And like I said, if Bateman's there, we'll do a Bigfoot thing. Or the big white thing or whatever the fuck, because that's the thing too down here is the white thing, right?
It is, yeah.
So in that little clip, you start talking about nuts and bolts, and maybe it's not. And I mention the term ultra-terrestrials. Now, that, Eddie likes your Mark Spears poster.
Thanks, man.
Trevor knows Mark Spears, man.
Yeah.
How cool is that?
It's signed by him, too. I got to meet him.
Check out what Eddie just said there.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, man.
Unfortunately, we didn't realize that we needed somebody there to film us.
Yeah.
Well, one person was too busy trying to walk into the woods, and the other person was too busy trying not to throw his lighter into the fire. So.
One was too busy walking into the woods. One was too busy trying to walk into the fire.
Great time, though.
Yeah, great time. So, and we're already talking about this stuff on the first episode because I think there was something within conversations that we had that shifted a little bit of a focus into what we may potentially be doing. So I want you to speak, Scott, on what that means. The ultra-terrestrial, the connective tissue between different things, and also how, ghosts, UFOs. Usually there's a UFO show on History Channel.
Mm-hmm.
There's a ghost show. There's a Bigfoot show, but there's not one show that does it all and tries to act like it's all the same thing, because that seems ridiculous, right? Ghosts aren't aliens and UFO and abductions, and they're not big feet, and they're not vampires, and they're not angels, and they're not, demons, and they're not this kind of stuff. So what are you talking about there? And what do you remember of conversations we had that kind of led you to speak on it, and speak on any, whatever, just speak on it.
Yeah, I gotcha. Okay, so I've always been interested in the idea that there might be something in between. And so that kind of prefaces the whole move into signal and noise. Like before we started filming, I was already kind of thinking this. So like you were saying, there's UFO shows, there's ghost shows, there's Bigfoot shows. There's all these different people who do their little different things, and they do not talk to each other about the things that happen to them, the things that they discover, right? If you look at what all these different researchers are finding, you'll notice that there's some common ground. So, for instance, alien encounters. Most of the time, I shouldn't say most of the time, I should say pretty frequently, when people see UFOs or see aliens, they're preceded by flashes of light, particularly blue light, right? When people encounter Bigfoot, occasionally they encounter flashes of blue or green light prior to seeing the actual, thing, right? Same thing happens in ghost stuff. Blue lights, orbs, it's all these different things that make me think, well, maybe these are all just symptoms of one thing, right? And that's kind of where ultra-terrestrials come in. It's impossible to talk about this without just jumping straight into the deep end. And it is so frustrating to me that I cannot just wade in and be like, oh, and this and this and this, But John Keel suggested it during the Mothman prophecies, that maybe there was something underneath it all that was causing it all to happen. That's where your idea of ultra-terrestrials comes from.
I'm glad you mentioned Keel, because that's where we started really talking about this stuff, me and you, because I was like, yo, dude, have you read Operation Trojan Horse? Like that was the book that really, and I was led to that by Robert Anton Wilson.
Yeah.
About him. We started talking about Grant Morrison, Philip K. Dick, and just, and they're on to something. Some of these ass white dudes, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And then, we go out and we film this, and it was kind of popular at the time. I think the idea of summoning UFOs with your mind, that wasn't an original thought of mine. The inclusion of the ESTA session in that's part of that connective tissue. This is a tool created for, despite Frank Sumption thinking he was talking to aliens, it's a tool used by ghost hunters. It should not work in a UFO type encounter. And yet for some reason that night it did. That's the big question, is what does that mean? Why did it work that way? Does it really matter if, what tool you're using? As long as you follow the rules, will it work? Which I think kind of dips into the whole, like, almost magic, like magical components of it. But, yeah, I don't know. And then we have these conversations where we're talking about the things we hear on the ESTA sessions, and we start to notice little connections, a point here that's brought up there, and this is one that it's not going to be in the show. This predates Signal and Noise. The Hull House, the first one that you were there for, during the ESTA session that we were recording just prior to the cops getting called on us. Something asks us, have you reached the path? And I know, yes, there is like a walkway behind the house, right? Maybe it's talking about that, like the Sam and Greg people. If you're looking at it from a certain point of view, you can say, hey, this is a ghost talking about that. Then why do we keep getting asked that question every time?
Dude, I didn't realize that happened at the Hull House, because when we were in the Smelly House, we kept hearing about the path, and we were like, well, there's a path right back there, right?
Yeah. And the Sam and Greg's, we hear the same question.
Yeah, but I want to say we heard it in Sam and Greg's, or at least one of the other alien ones too. It's been brought up a couple times.
Yeah, Trevor, what are your thoughts on? Do you feel like there's a connective tissue between our experiences?
Oh, 100%. I think there's way too, and again, this could just possibly be like a subconscious thing kind of coming up. But with some of the certain things that it says, some of the responses that it has to our questions, it even still repeats even to our questions, and it makes sense. Like grammatically, it makes sense. It's not just Scott listing off a name that like has nothing to do with the question that we asked. Like it's all. We hear some names. We hear some, like you said, the path. There's a lot of repeating elements in a lot of the things that they say that I think it's much more than just a coincidence or Scott's like subconscious saying it, like making him want to say it. I think there's a lot of stuff like that it's just too much for it to be some sort of coincidence. I definitely think a lot of this is connected. The path is one, and then the names that we hear is another one. Just for an example.
100%, man. And we got to get Kevin on a journey with us, man. Because Kevin is primed for it, man. But yeah, I believe there's a connection too. And it's interesting because I don't feel like we've come to a resolution.
No.
Right? And we may never. And it may be a continuous journey. Yeah. And I think one of the reasons why when we tried to, I think as far as I'm aware, the last episode that you filmed, Scott.
Yeah.
When we tried to replicate what will be in the first episode, and we were kind of unsuccessful with it, but there was stuff that happened that night, and it was also a leap forward technologically speaking.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So there was that. It just so happened that now we have all these cameras on the sky where we didn't have any on the first night. Now we got all these cameras on the sky, but the one time something gets seen, there's no camera on that one fucking section of the sky.
Yep.
Man. And it was me that saw it, but you know, it could be anything. And I actually had a couple other sightings around that. I think I told you about them, didn't I?
I don't remember.
Different experiences where I saw something. There was.
Oh yeah,
yeah. Well, I can't remember where they were right now. One of them was when I was at the pool over at my girlfriend's place. I think. Yeah. So I've had.
Forget.
But. I wouldn't say that was an unsuccessful night, you know, because we first of all, we got like a whole station with a bunch of cameras and we're ready to go. Right. After if everything we've done so far is 8 episodes, wait for the next 8 episodes, y'all. It's going to be really crazy because that was
a great test. Great test night. Yeah. We got everything running. That was awesome. Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely. It was so cool, man. We just got to cover more of the sky. We got good. I would say we got a lot of good pictures, but like Mike, for some reason, kept wanting to film us out of focus. I don't know what it is, but
I don't know.
But it was fun, and I'm ready to do something else, man. It's nice to take a little pause right now while I'm like ramped up with Horror Fest and this New York trip that I got in a couple of days and all that shit. But what do you recall, Scott, about what connected me and you in this journey? Through our discussions, if that makes sense. You get what I'm saying?
Through our discussions. I remember obviously, like we talked about already, the appreciation for John Keel and that kind of stuff. And then while this whole thing has been happening, have been exploring, I'm sure you've spoken about this before on here. I've been exploring the idea of like magical practice for the past few years.
I'm very open, especially on Teen Dog Shades Night, that I'm a chaos magician. So
cool. Yeah. And I know that was a big part of it. I can't remember anything else if you're looking for something specific.
No, it was those conversations. Ultraterrestrials, John Keel, magic, like Crowley.
Yeah.
Scott, why don't you tell us real quick about the time that you got wrapped up for like 2 months into a fucking trying to decode a spam email you got? You remember that, Trevor?
Yeah, I remember. He for the longest time he was like, Robbie sent this to me. I know he did. Or like,
I thought it was. Yeah, I thought you were messing with me.
Or Nick. Did you think it was Nick for a while?
Robbie was the main one because I was like, to have sent this requires a knowledge of what we were talking about, and maybe it plays into that whole like thing we were talking about like if you're looking at it from a certain point of view, it looks mundane. Maybe, I don't know, but. So the week after we did that first UFO episode, I was over at my aunt's house. She lives out towards out in Morgan County, out in the middle of nowhere, basically. And we replicated the experiment, or we were trying to replicate the experiment in miniature at her house. So we kind of go through the whole thing that we were doing leading up to it, the whole process. Although, of course, we didn't prepare for it quite as long as, we did for the episode. But we see this big flashing light out in the woods. And we're like, well, or at least I'm like, well, shoot, it really does work. So the next morning I wake up and I have an email. This is in my personal email account. It is in no way connected to the show. It's not on the internet. That email account is actually closed down now. And I have an email. I can't remember exactly what it said, but the subject line was something along the lines of, he said they were brother fighting men. And it was the strangeness of it. And that really got my attention. The interior of the email was a quote from a long out of print book called Wild Northern Scenes. And it was describing the area around Tupper Lake in New York, or I think it's New York State, but I may be wrong. And at the time I was watching a show called Hellier by the Newkirk Museum of the Paranormal. And they play around a lot with Liberal and God, what's it called? Secret Cipher of the Euphonauts, which I think I got you not that long ago.
You did, yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you. I think you got that for me for my birthday. Yeah.
And the idea is that these ultra-terrestrials, these UFO occupants, whatever you want to call them, they may be communicating in ways that we don't necessarily realize. And this kind of shows up in the show a little bit when at Sam and Greg's, this seemingly ghost uses a phrase that is from the secret cipher, that's from Liber Al. Anyway, so I took he said they were brother fighting men, and I plugged it into that cipher and how that functions, and it came out with a phrase. I do not remember what it was, but it was a perfect little phrase from Liber Al. That was like, it just, greetings and hello or something like that. And so I went down this whole rabbit hole of like deciphering every part of this, and I'm like, it had to be Robbie. Either this is real or Robbie sent this to me. He's the only person I know.
Can you
who might know
imagine,
this.
Trevor, that this motherfucker thought I had the time to fucking put in some kind of fucking ciphered code through this?
I remember when he got it, or not when he got it, but like the day he got it.
Yeah.
We were at work and he was behind the counter and he's like, look at this email I got, man. And I'm reading it and I was, that's pretty weird. And he goes, do you think Robbie could have written this? And I'm like, I don't think Robbie cares that much to make up some fake email to troll you with.
I remember him coming into the office being like, did you send this email? I'm like, what are you talking about? And then I think I may have been the first person to be like, Scott, maybe it's just nothing, man.
Like a spam email, yeah. But I will say,
if a Nigerian prince asked you for money, watch out.
Yeah.
But I mean, like, what a weird spam email, Like, it's not asking for money. It's
through
not,
the filter.
There's no ransomware or anything. It's literally just text. But,
just text, yeah.
Makes no sense. It's not asking for anything. Like, what scam are you pulling with that?
Well, and the crazy thing is, I think you just kind of gave up and realized it was bullshit, right? Did you definitively find out what it was?
So there's a little more to it. So I'm looking at it, I'm running it through, and part of what was convincing me that this was something real, beyond the fact that, like I said, every part of this comes out to total phrases out of Liberal. And I should add on that while I'm at work, I'm actively translating this through the cipher or trying to. And do what?
I said company time.
Yeah, company time. Yeah, Ed pays for some good stuff, But so I'm actively trying to decipher it. And while I'm doing this, Liberal is written by Aleister Crowley, for anyone who's not familiar with the name. And a guy walks in while I'm working on this, and he turns and he's like, Aleister, you come here, to his son. And I was like,
holy shit.
Yeah.
First of all, I'm not even thinking of Crowley. I'm thinking of fucking Wonder Woman 84 with Pedro Pascal. Aleister. Yeah. And so
the reason why I latched onto it so hard, it's not just like I didn't just get the email. You know, if I got an email today, I probably wouldn't react the same way. When John Keel was in Point Pleasant investigating the Mothman stuff for the first time, when he makes contact with the idea of like Indra Cold and these ultra-terrestrials, right? He starts getting letters that do not make sense from the, I forget what they called, the National Weather Bureau or something. I can't remember the fake name that they used. And so another guy from the Newkirk Museum of the Paranormal, Greg Newkirk, he's touching on the same stuff on these ultra-terrestrials all of a sudden during the same time period that we're filming this. And he's getting weird emails that make no sense. The same style of writing. So I'm like, well, shoot, it's the same thing. But so not knowing who else to turn to, I reached out to the Newkirks, and they actually got back to me. And they helped me kind of figure it out. It was their opinion that it was probably a specific type of, I forget what they called it, but it basically goes through and checks old email addresses, a type of spam bot, using uncopywritten text to check to see if the message fails or, you know, delivers.
Word.
But the do what?
This book is out of print.
Oh yeah.
What's going on here?
Yeah. So the I do agree with that now. It was my state of mind at the moment. You know, Robert Anton Wilson, he talks about chapel paralysis. You know, you have an encounter like this, you have something really strange happen to you, and you enter this mindset, and you either leave that mindset an agnostic or a madman. And I was very much so in that when that email came.
When we started talking about Wilson, what were you? I can't remember. Were you familiar with Ra and his work?
No.
Okay.
You introduced me to him.
And you have since read Cosmic Trigger.
Yeah.
At least the first one, right?
I read the first one. Yeah.
There's 3 of them. All 3 are good, but like the third one's like 2 and 3 are a little bit less. They're more the come down. It's like when you read The Invisibles by Grant Morrison, and he's like into magic, and magic's working, and he's just on this fucking ride and this exhilarating high, realizing that he can affect reality, and there's more to reality than this, and blah, 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 blah. And then once you realize, you get to a certain point and you're like, okay, nothing in the actual world is changing. Right? And you kind of have to come down. That's what happens in The Filth. If Invisible, or if The Invisibles is the high and the rise, The Filth is the come down. With Robert Anton Wilson, Cosmic Trigger and Prometheus Rising is the high, and Cosmic Trigger 2 is starting the curve over, and 3 is kind of the come down in a way. Like the way he starts eventually discussing his thoughts about his conversations with beings from Sirius, it goes from very like, these are intelligences from Sirius to this is something within, right? But that's the thing, as within, so without, as above, so below. And the magic, the way it's connected, not just to magic or magic or whatever the fuck you want to call it, the Crowley stuff, Golden Dawn, Robert Anton Wilson, Chaos Magic, Peter Carroll, Phil Hine, Madame Blavatsky, or it goes back further and further, the Rosicrucians, right? All this shit, but it goes back to like shamanism. This book I was talking to you about today, I'm reading, Graham Hancock's Supernatural, which is heavily involved with shamanism and visionary quests and shit like that. And that's where more of my practice has been leaning into. Less of some of the more technical, practical moments, but like more of those kind of, like I've been maybe too heavy into it lately, but I've had some interesting experiences. But I don't know, man, there's a certain moment where I don't know. You hit a point. I kind of lost where I was going, but you kind of hit a point. I know with Robert Anton Wilson. Okay. Yeah. The shamanism. That's what I'm saying. It all goes back to some of humanity's first understandings of spirituality and the world of spirit. The fact that there's something more than just this mundane physical reality. Right. And it goes even further than an idea like the astral plane. Like there's multiple layers to existence, right? Excuse me. And that's where I'm like, I'm really getting more into that. But then again, in my experience, some of the techniques of high magic from like, say, Golden Dawn practices and shit really do work. Like Crowleyan magic, if you really get into it, it does work. That's why I have this idea, and it's very radical, but I have an idea to try to do an episode on the BVM experience.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
I wanted to do a whole thing about religion and its crossover with the supernatural, and like the how they kind of share the same feeling, these encounters.
Yeah. So
you know,
I agree, right? Like we've talked about this: angel, demons, BVM, Blessed Virgin Mary, and I get really spooked out by Mary.
That video, man.
That video with that statue coming to life.
You need to share that video one day. You need to share that video one day.
Spooks me, man. But I have an idea, because part of the chaos mage, right, is the idea that part of chaos magic is the idea that belief is a tool, and paradigm shifts are something you should do routinely, right? If your whole life, here's a random example I did that's very, very minuscule, has very little impact on something, right? My whole life, for the most part, I grew up not a fan of Spawn, right? Like I read it when I was younger, when it was first coming out, and then very much quickly, I joined along with everybody else's thought that this book is not good. It's style over substance, and even the style is waning, blah, 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 through the 90s, the 2000s, blah, blah, this and that, right? And a simple paradigm shift I did one day as part of my practice, my evolution as a person, was I've hated Spawn for all these years. I'm going to become the biggest Spawn fan tomorrow. I started reading Spawn. I bought Spawn toys. I signed up for Spawn's Kickstarter for his action figure. I got a signature from Todd McFarlane. Like I went full board. All of a sudden I'm a Spawn fan. My whole life literally changed. What's brilliant to me is that reading a Spawn comic now is a different experience than it was before. But it makes sense. And that's a small thing. But major paradigm shifts I have done in my life. I've gone from a Christian Alabama Baptist to a chaos magician. You know what I'm saying? So that's a huge paradigm shift, right? Yeah. I've gone from living as a straight guy as a bi guy, right? So like there's a lot of like major changes that have happened, and it's just a paradigm shift, but and things like that. Anyway, that being said, I have this idea that we, the three of us, very devoutly get super Catholic for 6 months.
I'm already on it, brother. Don't you
And then
worry.
try to have an experience with the Blessed Virgin Mary.
I'm down for it. It's really interesting, the implications of it.
But I mean, you got to be really into it, man.
You gotta, yeah.
You got to stop everything else you believe and think, and legitimately believe this.
Actually do it. Actually be it. Yeah.
Yeah. Go to mass. And no offense to anybody's religion, that's not what I'm doing, because I think spirituality is a beautiful thing. I really do. Right? I really do. And I believe there are so many methods through so many cultures throughout so much history for us to tie. That's what I think we're doing here. I honestly, me personally, I think what we've done is we're tying into something truly uniquely spiritual and part of the oneness of the all of the universe, if that makes sense. Yeah. It may sound new agey, and I'm not an armchair new age guy, right? And a lot of people that practice this kind of shit get into that. But the big thing about chaos magic is that like if we want this to happen, Trevor, it's easy for him because he doesn't have to change much. He just has to be actually like going like what if we went to mass every week for 6 months? We did all the prayers. We did the fucking Hail Marys. We did the Lord. We confessed. We did all that shit so devoutly and so impactful, and we really believed it. What if we made that experience happen? Wouldn't that be fucking crazy?
Yeah.
Using the same technology and the same mentality that we did to conjure a UFO or to speak to spirits or to do anything else.
Yeah.
How crazy. And that's the idea, right?
Mm-hmm.
Belief is the tool, man.
Is this kind of how like missionaries used to be? They were like, what if we all sat down and worshipped Christ. That'd be pretty cool.
All right. We're going to wrap
man.
up here in just a second. Trevor, I want to know, what's the most significant experience outside of the shared manifestation we experienced of something that night when we were trying to conjure a UFO?
I would say that my biggest experience, and I talked a little bit about this with Scott, and I think this might show up on the channel. I think we recorded something a little bit not too long ago.
It'll show up in something.
I would say that probably the biggest impact that I ever had was when I was younger. I don't really remember how old, but I was definitely younger. And we lived in this house, and my sister and my mom had gone on a ghost walk kind of thing downtown. They used to go on those all the time. And my sister saw something kind of weird that she thought when she was on there was some like light in a doorway kind of thing. And she really didn't think much of it. And I want to say maybe we have a picture of it, but I'm not 100% sure. But it was just a very unnatural looking light in this doorway or on this door. Not necessarily like on the door, but like where the door was, like in front of it. And after that, ghost walk and everything, she had a lot of different like experiences targeted towards her. I won't get into too much of them, but they were not the greatest things, targeted to her. Did you just take a rip out of that, man?
Yeah, my bad.
So
I've been doing that all night. You know,
I have not been noticing. No.
Bro, it's a Teen Dog Shades night, man. Come on, man.
Decorum's out the window.
By the way, I don't know if you know this, Scott and Trevor, but every one of those investigations we've been on, I've been high as shit, man.
Oh yeah. Really? You don't say? You don't say? I didn't know that. I'm so sorry. Man, what kind of church do you think that is over there, man? I don't know, Robbie.
Oh my God, if we become Catholics for 6 months, I can still smoke weed, right?
No.
I don't know.
Oh, well, but I can't have sex without procreation being the point? They've modernized, right? Catholicism is modernized, right? The new pope's cool, right? That's what they're saying.
He's from like Chicago or something. It's great. Anyways, after all her weird experiences, I distinctly remember one night waking up. I don't even know if I was asleep yet, but I know I was in bed. It was nighttime, and I used to sleep with my door open, and I have a hallway leading up to my room, and the light in the hallway was on to my room. My lights were off. And I very distinctly remember hearing a little bit of footsteps, not very loud ones, just very quiet footsteps. And I see this very tall, like black, lengthy figure with red eyes and a very spiky head. And I know that's so like, I guess the word I'm looking for is like cliche for like a ghost encounter. But I mean, it was as real. I mean, I will never forget it. I mean, it was just so real. It wasn't a dream or anything. I was completely awake. And I remember it looking at me, like making eye contact with me, and then realizing that I'm either just not what he wants or something else. And he moves on down the hall to my sister's room. And I never really saw it again. And I never really brought it up because I'm like, nah, I'm just not going to talk about that. And then years later, pretty recently, I was talking to my mom about it and be like, yeah, I remember as a kid, I saw this when all that was happening. And she made this horrible shocked face and was like, I saw the exact same thing, like the exact same thing. The tall black dude, or not black, but like shadow black, spiky hair, red eyes.
I was about to be like, tall black dude. Hold on a second.
So
you saw the Slender Man, dude, right? Yeah. Something like that.
So it was pretty wild hearing someone say that they saw the exact same thing. It was pretty wild hearing that. And ever since then, I've called it the Bart Simpson ghost because that's what his head looked like. It was like a Bart Simpson kind of thing. That was probably my most profound experience that I've ever had outside of this.
Yeah, I've shared this with the channel throughout many random Teen Dog Shades nights and Rockin Robbie Live, and those used to be hard to find, but now I try to like make them known because I'll wear the shades in the thumbnail, but I don't do them too often, but I love doing it with other people. So would you two be willing to do this maybe like 3-4 times a year? Just do a Teen Dog Shades night. Maybe we bring in other people. We just have these conversations.
Absolutely.
Like I'm already started to think about, wouldn't it be great to do a whole episode, a live stream about Teen Dog Shades Night, what that means, paranormal, supernatural, esoterical, all that kind of shit. What are the best comics that represent that? Let's have a discussion on Department of Truth and the Invisibles, and shit like that, and Promethea, right? Like that would be really cool shit. Even the X-Files and pop culture in general, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be cool shit, man. But yeah, I've had some Jesus fucking visions. That's why I think the Mary thing would work. And honestly, I don't think we have to be 100% Catholic, but we have to believe the lore, if that makes sense. And you got to live it. You got to live it. You got to do the ritual, the daily rituals.
Yeah.
Right. I believe that 6 months of doing the Lord's Prayer and what are y'all supposed to do, Trevor? Like Lord's Prayer, Hail Marys, and go confessional and.
What do you think like a daily ritual is for a Catholic person?
Bruh, come on. First of all, there's a weekly ritual, right? Where you're supposed to go to
I mean, you go to church
but aren't you supposed to pray every day and read the scripture every day and shit like that, right? That's what we did as Baptists, bruh. Okay.
Yeah, I was gonna say I was I mean definitely
like
pray.
PC Hammer says, man, you got to pray just to make it today. Oh yeah, we pray. Pray.
Obviously praying is one big thing. And I would say a lot of that is done usually at dinner with
saying grace doesn't fucking count as
we're finding out
prayer,
Trevor's he's not a good Catholic.
First off, you don't understand my family and their grace.
But we should time it around like Lent and all that shit and go get the fucking Ash Wednesday fucking shit and like not eat meat and shit. Like I'm serious.
I agree. 100%. I would have already done.
What are you gonna give up?
What are you gonna give up? The only reason we haven't yet.
That's easy.
Yeah.
You have to choose something to give up.
Meat.
You're just gonna go meat?
Isn't that typically what y'all do? That's why like that's why the filet-o-fish became such a big deal.
True.
Yeah, but it's
because meat apparently doesn't count fish.
You're also supposed to give up something else that like is
like a vice or something
that you use too often. What?
Like a vice or something.
Yeah, like
vaping or weed or alcohol.
Yeah.
I'll give up alcohol.
Yeah.
I'll give up alcohol.
You do that like every
year.
Yeah,
you're already doing that right now, I think, aren't you?
You're really supposed to sacrifice something. It's supposed to be like a sacrifice. So like you would give up vaping because you do that every day, all day.
That'd be rough on it.
Well, bitch, what you gonna give up? What are you gonna give up?
Me?
Yeah.
I don't know, brother.
You trying to put me on the spot, motherfucker?
Oh,
Come
man,
on.
I gotta sacrifice. I guess I'll just stop showing up to work. I'll
shut
sacrifice.
the fuck up.
That'll be mine too.
Alcohol would be a good one, man. Alcohol would be a good one.
That would be a good one, but you already do that. So I feel like it should be something that really hurts you, like really like sacrifice.
Because you know that I do those things where I just like I'm out of alcohol for a month.
Yeah, and you're like, oh, okay, I'm done. I invited you out the other day, and you were like, no, I stopped drinking right now. I'm like,
yeah, I'm back drinking now, but it's like I'm limiting it like very much because I don't want Sticky Goose to make another fucking video of me. All right, Scott. I think we need to have more of these conversations.
For sure.
I really, really am. But here's something I want. So we've been talking about it: the connective tissue, aliens, UFOs, Bigfoot, big feet. What's the plural of Bigfoot? Bigfoots or big feet?
Big feet.
What's the plural? What's the plural?
It's like deer or fish. It's like Bigfoot.
So there's a herd of Bigfoot.
Yeah.
Is what you say.
It's a herd of big feet.
I would rather say it's a herd of big feet. That sounds more natural to me for some reason. Okay, but that makes sense. It's like deer.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah. Or what's the other one?
Fish, moose, all that.
Fishies.
I say mooses. It's Mises, right?
Yeah, there you go.
Plural of moose is Mises. All right. So, but here's the thing: 8 episodes, you said.
Yeah.
That are at least that are guaranteed to be done because those are filmed allegedly, right?
Yeah.
What are the 8 episodes?
I can't remember all of them right now. The UFO one, the second part of the UFO one.
So that's a 2-part.
It's a 2-parter. Yeah, it's a 2-parter.
Okay.
There might be a 3rd part at some point. But those 2. Dead Children's Playground was a big one. We had to touch on that.
Oh yeah, and you went did some interviews for that to really.
I did, yeah.
And that just spontaneously happened.
Yeah, birthed out of the
Smelly House.
yeah. So that's 4.
Is the
right
name of
there.
that episode? Tell me it's Smelly House. That'd be
I
great.
think it's Readings with the Dead was the official name, or Readings for the Dead. I can't remember.
Oh yeah, okay. Smelly House is better though.
Yeah.
I do like the Smelly House name.
But
Yeah.
maybe we can write a horror movie called Smelly
Oh,
House.
yeah.
And the name of the family that lived there are the Smellies.
The Smellies, yeah.
Yeah.
It works on 2 levels, yeah. There's a one episode actually we haven't got around to filming yet, the White Thing one. Which that one kept getting pushed back. What else is there? Sam and Red's, the camping episode, which we're gonna have to revisit at some point. Sorry, my cat just jumped up.
How is there a camping episode if we didn't film anything?
We got 40 minutes of footage. And
But all before everything happened, right?
True. I want to revisit that. I want to revisit it. Yeah.
No filming of us like doing the walk of shame.
Yeah.
Like back to the fucking car and not talking.
That was awful because we had to do it twice too with all that luggage.
Oh yeah, because we had to like hike out.
And we left you there so me and Robbie could do the first round, and you were just.
I was just sitting there on that little picnic table or whatever, just like. Oh, I think I died again. I don't know what happened.
Yeah, no, dude, you're gone. What a great freeze frame.
No shit. He's doing the bit the best anybody's ever done. I love it.
Yeah. But yeah, no, I there's 2 other episodes I'm forgetting right now. But it's 8. Yeah.
All right, 8 episodes.
Yeah.
They debut on Sunday, right?
Yeah, and there's going to be a gap between them. Originally, I wanted it to be. I wanted it
like
to
you're
be
fin folding. Okay, there you go.
I know. Almost there. We're almost there. I'm never gonna get through this, man.
Just talk, man. Trevor,
Yeah.
stop laughing.
I'm sorry.
Or
I'm sorry.
at least silence yourself. I'll silence myself too.
Oh God, what was I saying?
There's a gap between episodes.
Yes. There's gonna be a gap between episodes. I wanted them to release weekly, like a regular TV show or something like that, you know. This is a one-guy operation, basically. I mean, I've got you guys, but all the editing, all the filming, it's all me. And it takes a huge amount of time. On top of that, I work, 40 hours a week. And I just can't keep up with that one every week schedule. So it'll be like one this weekend, and then it'll probably be like another month. And there's going to be a podcast too, where I'd like us to sit down and like watch the episode and talk about it, and talk about other
like
stuff
the
we've never had.
Talking Dead, right?
Yeah.
Oh, I'd be down for that. That's a great idea, man.
But yeah.
Oh yeah. All right. So before we get out of here, I just threw up the YouTube right there, but you also have a website.
I do.
Talk about the website, what people can find on there, because you do more content there, don't you?
I do. It's hsvparanormal.com. It predates the team GHPR by quite a bit, or at least this incarnation of it. The idea of the website is it's where we can post all of our team stuff. It's supposed to also eventually be a catalog of all local encounters, although I'm not quite finished with that part. There's weekly blog posts on there where I talk about our experiences and just random paranormal stuff that comes to my mind. Although those are on pause right now since I've been working on this first episode so much this month.
Hell yeah. All right. So what I'm going to show you right now is basically the trailer for the episode that we've been talking about at Sam and Greg's. So you've seen the trailer for the first episode, which is based on the UFO stuff. And this is an episode about some of the ghost stuff. Not the smelly house, but the house that smelled way better because it smelled like pizza. And we went there and ate pizza and it was great. And that was one of my favorite times, man. And we kind of felt legitimatized or something.
We're wearing our shirts in that, aren't we? Yeah.
We are.
We are.
That was like the first real one. Yeah.
All right. So here's the trailer for that. And then we'll wrap up.
Yeah, I sure did.
Nice.
This is like always. This is a place that we used to like come and just chill. And kind of like, it's kind of peaceful. Churches are kind of peaceful to me, man. Like there's a lot of like energy put in places like this, right? Like for real. Like what we're talking about with Dead Children's Playground. Like what does belief do to a location? This is one of the oldest churches in this town.
Would there be a way to get the bell ringing?
It's a beautiful place.
So, like I know they've all kind of said at this point, this is our first really big one, and it's a huge moment to capture on film. I've been saying for weeks leading up to this, it feels like we've kind of been legitimized. And, I mean, the further we get into filming signal and noise, the more I think that the point of this whole thing is really about growth and change and all that kind of stuff, you know? I think it'll be an exciting night. Like I was saying to Robbie, it definitely has a lot of foot traffic around here. There's people all over the place, people come in here constantly to eat, right? But, I don't know. So, we're going to see if we can play off that, kind of get that atmosphere going. Right now it feels kind of chill, kind of quiet, but maybe when the lights get off, we get going, maybe it'll be a little different.
But sometimes you would go down there and you'd be the only one. Like I went down there one night, and I swear when I got down to the bottom, somebody said my name, like right behind my head, and I thought it was my friend, and I turned around and nobody was there.
Okay.
I'd like to talk about the esoteric cult stuff that I'm into. I use a lot of like Egyptian work, right? Where the apparition is supposed to be, and these amazing tables. This is a comic book table representing us, the deep, right?
Absolutely.
And then over here, ancient Egypt. Right here where the apparition allegedly was. There's a reference to comic books, a reference to esotericism. It's interesting, it's cool. I definitely think we should focus something in this area. There is, definitely it's the basement that feels the most like oppressive. Like being back in that corner, that just could be because you're all the way back, you know the exit's so far away. There was the CO2 warning and all that stuff, but it just felt stale and stagnant and just like, I don't know. And then that mirror was interesting, but being up here is different. The whole vibe is different downstairs. But I just thought that was too much of a coincidence. Synchronicity is something we should pay attention to in all of these situations.
100%.
See if you can get it to go all the way to red for us.
There you go. It felt kind of transcendental almost for a second. Like I felt like I was just kind of up in the air, like I wouldn't really see it anymore. I just got more and more disoriented as it went on.
All right, you ready?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think you definitely won over our host as well. Have you ever known of us? Have you ever known of us? The of us was very, very clear.
The people working here have.
We are, I am.
There are four
And
of
us,
here that
are
know
we?
you.
Legend?
We're going to be wrapping it up here in a second. I'll see you guys later. It's been a nice night. Forget about that step again.
This motherfucker kept fucking falling on those steps. He tripped over a kid that night.
Yeah, I did. Yeah,
I forgot about that. You kicked that kid.
right in the forehead.
You didn't trip over him. He kicked that kid, man.
He got kicked pretty good.
He kicked the shit out of
He
that
hopped
kid.
up, and what did he do? He goes, ow.
I love it. I cannot wait to see this first episode. How long is it, Scott?
Looking about half an hour.
Oh, fuck yeah. That's awesome. Very excited, man. Everybody, you can go watch it on the YouTube video. That's where it's dropping. Check out the website. There are links in the description, links in the chat. Man, we got to have more of these kind of conversations. This is super fun. And I cannot wait for the people to see this.
Yeah.
Because we've been working on it for so long. And Scott, you are doing the work. Like me and Trevor, we just go there. You know, we bring snacks, we're eating gummy worms,
Yeah.
shit like that, right? And then some intense shit happens, man. We've had some experiences and we've documented some of them. And we're not trying to prove nothing to ourselves or anybody else. We're just trying to experience this shit, and it's working. And I'm excited for it, bro. So you're doing a great job, Scott. Final thoughts?
I wanted to say about that the first episode, right? Looking back on it, you know, I can't help but think about how profound it felt in that moment, right? I was rewatching it today. I was telling you about that this afternoon, seeing where I'm in as I'm working on finishing all the transitions, making sure it looks all right. It seems like every day I when I look at this, I find something new that I didn't notice before. It really is this. It was a life-changing experience, and I really hope it comes across, no matter how bad the camera quality might be or the constant equipment failures. You know, I hope more than anything that when you watch this show, you see how genuine we are in this and how big of a deal it is. So
I love that you keep in the bits where you trip down the steps.
I love those
where
moments.
Me and Trevor talk about fucking pretending to be looking for UFOs while we're looking for through the woods. I was like, we need some like stock footage, right? Let's like, you know, and then the bit where what was it? Where like we're setting up me coming up to say the line. I'm trying to open your mind sphincter and I fuck it up, right? You know, shit like that.
Yeah.
Or Davey talking about his fucking stories and shit. Like, are you like, we have so much fun. We have profound experiences, but we also have so much fun doing this together. Does that come across in the final edit, you think?
I think it does. I'm trying really hard to toe that line between coming off as too, I don't know, maybe like self-righteous is the word, you know, because shows like this, that's what they always do. You know, they're slow and they're heavy and all that. And I'm really trying to imbue it with the fun that we're having in the moment. So.
Hell yeah. Trevor, thank you for being here. Final thoughts.
Thank you for inviting us. Yeah, that was awesome. Well, what'd you say? I'm so sorry.
Final thoughts, my man.
I'm excited for people to see it. I'm excited for people to get a glimpse of what we've experienced. I think it'll be a lot of fun. I think, kind of going off what Scott said, I really hope it comes across as just not three, but just a group of people, just like you said, not proving anything to anybody, but just having experiences. Not only with each other, but with the universe around us. So I'm very happy for people to try to hopefully get the same vibe that we got. And then hopefully when we have future videos and future podcasts and stuff, when we have some of the special guests, I hope they have the same energy and they get to feel the connection that we all share. I think it'll be a lot of fun.
Hell yeah, dude. I love what you said there too. Like, experiencing moments with each other and with the universe.
Yeah.
That sounds like a good tagline, Scott.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, it does. And that's two taglines. What was the other one? What was it? I hope we get sucked up or
best case scenario we get sucked up.
There you go.
Best case scenario we get sucked up. Another good one was I'm just trying to loosen your mind sphincter.
Yeah.
Like we got some good ones, man. And my favorite one, which I stole from Robert Anton Wilson, is belief is the death of intelligence.
Oh my god.
On one of them, there's going to be a big counter at the bottom, and we're going to run a little clip of every time you say it.
Let's do it.
We just have a
Because
counter. How many times I rub my nose?
I have a Get Out of Paradox 3 card, and so I can have two conflicting beliefs at the same time. So I can believe that belief is the death of intelligence, and I can also have the idea that belief is a tool.
Yeah.
See what I'm saying there?
Yeah, man.
Yeah, but it's true. And I can't tell you, I wish if there was a camera on me at every moment of my life, first of all, y'all would see some shit you never wanted to see. And secondly, you would see me correct myself when I say I believe to, hold on, I mean, I like the idea that.
Especially if we're there with you.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I'm just talking by myself to my cats. You know what I think, Prudence? I believe that all you cats are just lazy and you're not contributing. Can you not at least contribute to the YouTube channel just a little bit? Show up, be cute. Come on. Anyway.
Scott's did just a second ago.
She tried. Yeah.
No, my cats are fucking like Ariel never leaves the fucking couch except to go get food or to go take a piss or a shit because she's like 16 years old. So she's the old lady, right? She's the madam of the house. Prudence, when Prudence lived with Helena, Prudence was like a thin, active, fucking loving cat. She's still a loving cat, but she is fat now. And she is lazy as fuck. She used to be like in and outdoor, right? There was like a cat door. She could go out and do whatever. But nope, not here, not in the apartments, you know? So she's gotten fat. Anyway, enough about fat cats and enough about Virgin Marys and UFOnauts and all that shit and the Mothman. We didn't even get to your Mothman obsession, Scott. So we definitely got to do another one of these.
We do, yeah.
All right, we're dipping out, y'all. Go check out Signal and Noise from the GHPR. Did I get it right?
Yeah, right here, so you can read it.
Yeah, I was saying.
Oh fuck, I didn't even see that. Yeah, GHPR. Here, me, Scott, Trevor, and several others. It's gonna be cool. Episode drops on Sunday. What time, Scott?
It is sometime Sunday. Whenever I do it.
Okay, sometime Sunday. All right, y'all. Love you. Have a good one. Station, pop, pop, boom. Eyes above.